Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. As you see by today's title, it is finally the day, 100 days until Halloween, and I am super excited to jump off this countdown season with you with some really awesome DIYs. But before we get started, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free. But don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. I am trying to reach 15,000 subscribers by October, and I really think we can get it there. So if you can join our family and help make that goal reachable, that would be deeply appreciated. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, but don't forget to do all the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. Jumping right into this DIY, you're going to need a couple of bottles. Any sizes, any shapes, any jars will work for this DIY, but I have a couple of wine bottles left over that I am going to make over. Now you can always place your wine bottles in the sink and wash them and delabel them. However, I did not want to do that because it was too much work at the time. Next is to start painting your bottles. Now, once again, you could take it outside and spray paint, but for me on this day, it was way too hot to go outside and spray paint, so I opted out and started painting it using my Waverly chalk paints, folk art chalk paints, and some acrylic paints in various colors. I'm adding those paints right onto my label with a little sponge, and I am sponging on all of that paint in really thin layers just so it dries faster, and after you have a couple layers on, your bottle should start looking like this. So I have a couple of these sticker labels that I thought would work perfectly for this DIY. I have Black Widow Spider, Brain Juice, Poison Ivy, and a bunch more, but I just thought these were really fun. I am going to use the Brain Juice for our first bottle here, and I'm just placing it on. It is a sticker, so you don't need any extra adhesive, but if you want to, you can always add a layer of Mod Podge right over it just to secure it even more, but these adhesives work really well. I just place on the bottle and smooth it out so that it is nice and on there. Then I took my dirty sponge and I'm just lightly patting it over the label so it's not so shiny and it looks aged as the bottle. Next, I have some creepy cloth that I purchased from Dollar Tree a while ago, and I'm still going through it. And I want to add that to our bottle, so I place it over the neck of our bottle and pull it down. This will give it another layer of texture and detail just to really make that bottle look old. Next, to hold it into place, I'm just adding little dabs of hot glue here and there, and then placing that creepy cloth on top of it just to hold it down and it won't move everywhere once you start moving it around and adding it to your home decor. Remember, this is totally optional, but I just think it looks really cool and it really makes the bottle look aged. After you have it hot glued into place, we are then going to add some jute string all the way up the neck of the bottle. Not only will this give it another layer of texture and detail, it will also cover that label that is underneath it since I didn't remove it. However, I still think it looks awesome and it does give it another depthness of creepy and old. So I first added a little dollop of hot glue, placed the jute string into it, and then I'm just going to wind the jute string all the way up until we reach the top of the bottle. After you have your jute string into place, I then took out my cork and I am going to hot glue that into place. Once again, just adding a little dollop of hot glue inside of the bottle, pushing the cork back into it so it will hold into place. For another layer of detail, I took my larger hot glue gun that is on the high setting, and I am starting to flood the top of our wine bottle here. I just place it right onto the bottle and just keep pulling the trigger so that all of that hot glue drips down the bottle. I absolutely love this detail. It makes it look like it was sealed with wax, and I usually do this pretty much to all of my bottles. After I have the top layer done, I do move down the bottle and do the exact same thing onto the rim of our bottle, just so it looks like it's dripping all the way down and it looks awesome. After you have all of your drip marks where you like it and how thick and thin that you want it, then it's time to paint it so that it is nicely blended in and it looks like one cohesive piece. I first start going in with black acrylic paint using that same sponge that we used earlier, and I'm just lightly patting it over the wax, making sure to give thin layers so that it dries quickly, and then add more paint on top of it in various colors. I did do silver again and also this lime green just to make it look a little bit creepy, and then I'm just adding it to various places. Now I thought my label looked a little bit boring, and to make it look similar, I'm adding some hot glue around it to make some of those drip marks like we did up top, and then I will paint those in the same technique that we did for the top version, going in first with the black acrylic paint and then going in with other colors as well. Once I was happy with that, I did place that to the side to dry because I wanted to make a second bottle. Now this one, once again, was just in my crafting stash, and we are going to do pretty much everything similar but a little bit different. I am starting off with a copper paint, and I'm adding that right to our bottle in thin layers, and then I will add other paints right on top of it, blending it in to make sure it looks old and weathered. Here I am adding some black acrylic paint in thin layers, and I do set those off to dry completely and then add our second and third and fourth layers. Here's how it looks so far. Once again, I'm going in with this sticker label and I'm adding it right to our bottle. Now, if you don't have stickers, you can always print out a label and then glue it onto your bottle, and I've done that in a previous DIY. If you want to see that, it will be linked down in the description box below. Once again, to get rid of that shininess, I did pat on that dirty sponge on top of the label, and then I have some of these I guess they're called centipedes bugs. I believe I got them at Party City right before they closed, and I'm hot gluing that right onto our bottle. They are made out of rubber, so they are flexible, so it makes it go around those curves easier. And then I just place it in various places and then push down so that it adheres to it. You can always add stronger glue to hold everything into place as well, but the hot glue worked perfectly. Once again, I am flooding the top of our bottle here, and I'm taking my hottest hot glue on the high setting and just letting it flow down the bottle's neck, as you see here. This is really fun to do and really satisfying to look back on it, and you see all of those drip marks dripping right down onto our bottle. Now, you don't always have to use hot glue. You can always take a candle and drip it over your bottle to give it another layer of texture and color, but I like to use my hot glue gun. Then to cover the hot glue, I am adding paint right on top of it, first going in with my black acrylic paint, and then I will go in the various colors that we used before, which is the copper chalk paint that I have. I also added some of that chalk paint to our bugs so everything looks more cohesive. And once that was completely dry, that completes these DIYs. Here is how our spooky bottles turned out. I absolutely love them, and they are a great addition to the other bottles that I have made in previous DIYs. As always, I would love to know what you think about these DIYs down in the comment section below. Now, friends, this is all I have for you in our 100 days until Halloween countdown video. I figured this is a easy DIY that anybody can do, and it is a great starter to the countdown, but I do do have plenty more for you coming up soon, and I am super excited. These are one of my favorite DIYs to do every single year for the past 3 or 4 years now, and I hope you enjoy them too. Remember, friends, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family, where we do a lot of DIYs with an artistic twist, and I am trying to reach a goal of 15,000 subscribers by October. So if we can make that goal, I would deeply appreciate it. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, but don't forget to do all the YouTube things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoy, but I have to get back to these DIYs, so I will see you in the next one.